Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are watching The Big Bang Theory. This is the 12th episode of the first season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you like to watch today's full episode, it is available for free in the link in the description below. Just click on it, put the password in, and enjoy. So last episode, it was Sheldon. He was sick. He wanted to be, obviously, like, I don't know, loved by everybody. Everybody was trying to kind of avoid him, to be honest, because he is needed. He wanted certain things. He wanted soup. He wanted someone to bathe him. Wanted someone to rub, obviously, oils on him and sing nursery rhymes to him. And obviously, he just wants to be mothered and smothered, but everybody wanted to stay away. I was saying in the last episode that I kind of want the storylines to kind of be progressive in terms of, you know, today's episode will have some sort of connection to the last episode, which will have some sort of connection to the one before it. I feel like recently they've just been episodes that have just been standalone, drop in, bang, bang, bang. You know what I mean? Star Wars films, Rogue One. You know what I mean? Nothing to do with all of the rest of them. Got no sequel, got no prequel. It's just standalone right there. It's not, you know, a trilogy. It's not the next step, you know. I like the group to do more activities together as well. Hopefully we see that today. Everybody coming together collectively to have a bit of laughs. Thanks for checking out today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you do, please smash like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, let's jump into today's episode.
Here's the problem with teleportation. You would not have actually transported the individual. You would have destroyed him in one location and recreated him in another.
How about that?
Personally, I would never use a transporter because the original Sheldon would have to be disintegrated in order to create a new Sheldon.
Would the new Sheldon be in any way an improvement on the old Sheldon?
Good
No,
question.
he would be exactly the same.
Gentlemen, I'd like you to meet Dennis Kim. Dennis is a highly sought-after doctoral candidate, and we're hoping to have him do his graduate work here. I thought maybe you boys could show Dennis around, let him see why we're the best physics research facility in the country.
I already know you're not.
Updating our equipment, and we welcome your input on our research goals, and we've agreed to look the other way if you want to use up to 20% of the grant money you attract to smuggle your grandfather out of Pyongyang.
I mean, the whole landscape of false vacuums in string theory could be as large as 10 to the 500th power. In addition, ooh, look, chocolate milk.
I sense a disturbance in the Force.
Feeling I have about this?
Right, do you know what interestingly there they were saying about the string theory? But like, I'm sure that when Leonard was having his date with Penny, which wasn't a date, you know, she asked him what's going on in terms of physics, and he was basically saying like nothing really has been discovered since string theory back in like the 1930s. I might have been totally wrong with that. But if people are still continuously working on it, what is it that they're all doing? And what is it they're trying to discover? And are they trying to prove something different? And then if they do it, is it, you know, going to be used on other things that they've not really solved right now to basically answer questions that they've always had in the past? You know what I mean? I'm just trying to figure out, like, what is it that they actually do? But we were talking about time traveling there, right? And obviously, in my head, boom, straight away it popped in, yeah? I was thinking, you could do apparition from Harry Potter, or you could do kind of like they do in Doctor Strange, where they open up a portal and you walk through it. Now, obviously, opening up a portal and walking through it is probably a bit more easier, to be honest, but apparition is a bit more cooler. I don't know, would you think? I think it's pretty sick anyway, what they do in Harry Potter, just apparate away like that. My question is, if you could choose one way of time traveling, would you rather open the rings and just walk through it, or would you rather like be in Harry Potter where you could just apparate and then just obviously appear somewhere else as well? Both the same thing, two different extreme lengths of it.
So, Dennis, how long have you been in America?
Year and a half.
No kidding. You speak English really well.
So do you.
And this is my office.
Is this part of the tour?
Nope. Goodbye.
Come on, Sheldon, we've hardly shown him anything.
Looks like you're doing work in quantum loop corrections.
Keen observation. Goodbye.
You see where it went wrong, don't you? Apparently to me, you haven't considered a Lorentz invariant or field theory approach.
Get him out, Leonard.
Come on, Dennis. I'll show you the radiation lab.
You won the Stevenson Award?
In fact, I am the youngest person ever to win it.
You were the youngest person ever to win it.
Looking into an obnoxious little mirror, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Still can't talk to me unless you're drunk, huh? Weedy, you are so damaged.
Hey, I'm damaged too. How about a hug for Howie?
Sure, Raj, hug Howard.
Dennis Kim is 15 years old and he's already correcting my work. Today I went from being Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart to, you know, that other guy.
Antonio Salieri?
Eat, Sheldon, you'll feel better.
Why waste food? In Texas, when a cow goes dry, they don't keep feeding it. They just take her out and shoot her between the eyes.
So you got a little competition. I really don't see what the big deal is.
Well, of course you don't. You've never excelled at anything.
What are you gonna do, Sheldon? Just give up?
That's what a rational person does when his entire life's work is invalidated by a post-pubescent Asian wunderkind.
You know, I'm confused again. Is he waiting, or do we get to shoot him between the eyes?
You know what, right? In terms of knowledge, and clearly this question is either going to be really daft or just really normal. But, like, can it suppress, if that makes sense? So, for example, he could be so smart right now, but as he gets older, his mind doesn't work as strong as it is now, and he's not as smart as he previously once was. Like, I know it sounds really daft trying to say that out loud, but it's like, the only way I can kind of say it is like reactions, you know. When you was 20 years old, you could literally move and be so much faster than you can now. You know, playing games, for example, the PlayStation here, you know, I could play the game and I'd a quicker response time and I'd be so much better than it's not, and nothing's changed. Also, I got older, still play it as much as I did when I was younger, but I'm not as good anymore. I don't know why. Is it because everybody is new and fresh? Better, does that make sense? So like all the young kids are coming in and adapting to the climate, adapting to the knowledge that everybody's already had, and they're soaking it up, do you know what I mean? And then they bring new ideas to it and they're smarter. Or am I just them in the past and I've got to where I am now and I'm not as clever to soak in the new stuff because I've already acquired as much as I could when I was younger? I don't know if that makes any sense. It might sound totally daft, but basically what I'm trying to say is, you know, can Sheldon increase his knowledge? Or, like, he's already at a level that's like way superior than everybody else. Now this kid's already at his level and he's only got room to grow. Where Sheldon, is he peaked and is he always going to be there and stagnate and digress because obviously he's getting older and your mind doesn't work as good when you're younger?
I've decided you're right. My career is not over. But since the arrival of Dennis Kim has rendered my research pointless, I just have to find something else to focus on. I'm going to collaborate with you.
Great. Okay, well, right now I'm designing an experiment to study the soft component of cosmic radiation at sea level, but I really don't need any help.
Oh, sure you do. What happens if you use argon lasers instead of helium neon?
It would blow up.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure. Sheldon, I understand that you're going through a bit of a career crisis, but I need to tell you something and I want you to listen carefully. Go away.
Small brown paper bag, Ma. I'm looking at it right now. Why would I make that up? There's no ding-dong in it.
How are two ding-dongs tomorrow gonna help me today?
This is engineering, huh? Where the noble, semi-skilled laborers execute the vision of those who think and dream. I just came by to say hello. So, what are we making today?
A small payload support structure for a European science experimental package that's going up on the next space shuttle.
So it's a shelf.
No, you don't understand. During acceleration, it needs to stay perfectly level and provide... Yeah, okay, it's a shelf.
Sheldon?
Yes?
Go away.
Did Leonard tell you to say that? There must be some causal link I'm missing.
He always wears checker pants as well.
Go away.
He's always got a sweater vest on.
Curiouser and curiouser.
He watched me work for 10 minutes and then started to design a simple piece of software that could replace me.
Is that even possible?
As it turns out, yes. Well, what if something would have happened to this boy so he was no longer a threat to Sheldon?
Send him back home.
Then our problem would be solved.
We can't send him back to North Korea. He knows how to get out.
The only thing we need to do is make this Kim kid lose his focus. You know, biology. The one thing that can completely derail a world-class mind.
I've decided that if the three of you drop whatever it is you're working on and join me, we could lick cold fusion in less than a decade, 12 years tops. Go away?
Oh, hey guys, what's up?
We need a hot 15-year-old Asian girl with a thing for smart guys.
She don't know the context.
Possible she may have misunderstood us.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you working on? Something remarkable. Since my prospects for the Nobel Prize in Physics have disappeared, thank you very much. I'm going to solve the Middle East crisis by building an exact replica of Jerusalem in the middle of the Mexican desert.
Okay, well, speaking of spreads, we're having a small welcoming party this afternoon for Mr. Kim, who's agreed to join us here at the university. Obviously, you're very busy with your, come, Dennis.
The thing is, right, who's paying Sheldon to do that? That's what I want to know. Like, that's his boss, right? And what's he paying him for?
Why wouldn't the Sonora Desert make a perfectly good promised land?
Go away.
We could call it Nuevo Jerusalem.
It's take your daughter to work day.
Really? I was not aware of that.
Oh, yes.
There was a very official email that was sent to everyone whose insurance files indicated they had daughters between the ages of 14 and 16.
Okay, so we now have a socially awkward genius in a room full of attractive, age-appropriate women.
All he has to do now is hook up with one of them.
We can't get 15-year-old girls drunk.
Can we?
No, we can't.
I don't think you mean we can't. I think you mean we shouldn't.
If there was another Wailing Wall, exactly like the one in Jerusalem, but close to taco stands and cheap prescription drugs, would you still be able to wail at it? Okay, it's definitely me.
I know the type. Cheerleader, student council, goes out with the jocks. And if after 2 years of begging she does agree to go out with you, it turns out to be a setup and you're in the backseat of your mom's car with your pants off while the whole football team laughs at you.
How about her?
Sure. If he wants to spend a couple years doing her homework while she drinks herself into a stupor with non-fat white Russians.
That's 2 for 2. No, it's Rad's fault.
Interesting, kind of pretty. Little chubby, so probably low self-esteem. Oh no, she'll never go for the kid once she gets a peek at this.
You know, if we were in India, this would be simpler. 5 minutes with her dad, 20 goats and a laptop, and we'd be done.
What a wonderful occasion this is. And how fortunate that it should happen to fall on Take Your Daughter to Work Day, the youngest recipient of the prestigious Stevenson Award.
Youngest till the cyborgs rise up.
Let me introduce the man of the hour, Mr. Dennis Kim. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your upcoming research?
Oh, no thanks. I'm going to the mall with Emma.
2 words.
Did anyone see how he did it?
While Mr. Kim, by virtue of his youth and naivete, has fallen prey to the inexplicable need for human contact, let me step in and assure you that my research will go on uninterrupted.
He's back.
Yeah, mission accomplished.
Smart is the new sexy.
Why do we go home alone every night? We're still smart.
Maybe we're too smart. So smart it's off-putting.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Components I built are on the International Space Station, and I get a ticket for launching a model rocket in the
I
park.
don't know if the ticket was so much for the launch as it was for you telling the policewoman, you have to frisk me. I have another rocket in my pants.
Wow, I almost didn't recognize him.
You know, I kind of feel bad about what we did to him.
Yeah, we really ruined his life.
Screw him, he was weak.
Well, it's interesting because smart now in 2023 is the way forward. I mean, it's always been the way forward. But what I mean is, you know, when I was in school, if you was really smart, people would obviously just make little jokes and call you nerds just like them and stuff. But, like, to me, nowadays, how it should be, it represents, to me, if somebody's really smart, you could already see that they're going to have a pretty good life. Do you know what I mean? They're going to be hopefully well off. They're committed, you know, because it takes a lot of dedication to be a scientist, a dentist, you know what I mean? Anybody that goes and gets a PhD have got full-on commitment, you know what I mean? They know what they want to do, they strive towards it, they want perfection. And, like, I don't know, I just feel like personally, if I've ever met anybody that's really smart in real life, they've always been way superior than somebody that's not. So if I go back and cast my mind back to when I was in school, you know, the people that was in the clever set, the people that was at top of the class, they may not have got the amount of friends and the amount of girls and the relationships that everybody else was getting at that time. But now look at them when they're 15 years later from being a 15-year-old, you know, they're 30-year-olds now, they're rocking around. Those people that was in that top set, those clever ones at school, they've got the good jobs, they've got the good houses, they've got the great lives. And obviously some of the people that was obviously picking on them, calling them nerds and whatnot, I've got the crap ones. And it's interesting because I would always give the advice to be as good as you can at anything, regardless of any age, you know what I mean? And regardless of what people think of you as well, just do what makes you happy, you know what I mean? If you're clever and you want to rock and roll with it and be a scientist, an engineer, an astronaut or whatnot, then go for it, you know what I mean? I know people that wanted to be an actor, you know, and the thing is, people laugh at them, you're never going to be there, you're never going to do this, you're never going to do that, and okay, they may not have made it big time yet, but it's like Joey Tribbiani and Dr. Dre Ramore, do you know what I'm saying? Like, they've got little small roles here and there. They've been in commercials. They've been in adverts. You know what I mean? They've done this. They've done that. A couple of advertisement gigs here and there. And what I'm saying is, it's just, they're going, and those small jobs still pay more than the general salary that somebody gets. So somebody who's in 3 or 4 commercials around the year gets way more than the base minimum wage that somebody else doesn't get. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, I do think that people are committed and go for it, and especially being at such a young age. If you're gifted, which is a great film if you've not seen it about somebody that's really, really smart, then you should always have the encouragement for it. Not somebody like Sheldon today is obviously wounded that somebody younger is coming and taking all these prestigious awards. But it does baffle me as well. People are so young and so smart, because I can never get to that level. Okay, that is going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully, guys enjoyed it. So I feel like we're kind of back into the normal environment, you know, where we kind of going to maybe continue with a story. We had them in their work environment, which we've seen before, which is good. And you know, interestingly as well, Sheldon, he's kind of learning that maybe he could be a problem with the social kind of like gatherings and situations that he's in. You know, he does come in, he does, do you know what, in certain situations, he offends people. He actually does, but he also kind of annoys people as well. You know what I mean? He's going in there, obviously, because he feels like he's got no purpose anymore. He's not going to get a Nobel Prize because the young kid is obviously cleverer than him. So he's obviously spending time with other people and kind of telling them how they should do their things and see if he can outsmart them in situations. And obviously, everybody's telling him to, like, get away. Now, interestingly, you know, what I was saying, like, with his job is that when he decided that he wanted to build this wall in the desert or whatever he was saying, I'm thinking, who pays him to do this? And I'm like, what is he achieving for it? And why is his boss saying, why are you not doing continuous work, what you was previously doing in the past? You know what I mean? Like, why are you bringing up this new thing, and like, how's it going to benefit everybody? You know, I always think that, you know, somebody like Howard in his position that he's doing, I could get it, like, in the scientific terms of what he's actually doing. Like, he is actually creating something. Okay, he might have been creating a shelf that was just like that, just to put things on it. Basically, what he was trying to say is when a rocket goes up into space and it's zooming at that force, at that speed, you know, he's creating something that can actually hold that type of, I don't know, pressure, you know what I mean? And it can stay in one position. Now, people might not think that's science, might not think that's smart, but I think that's really clever. And I think that that would be, if I was going into science and I could choose something, it would be possibly engineering, creating things for stuff like that. I feel like those people are just mad how they can actually, you know, do tests and create things that you think is so simple, but it's not. The complexity is so difficult. I could kind of understand their science around it compared to, like, science that Leonard was kind of saying that he was doing about with the sea level and the laser beams. I mean, when's that ever going to get tested? And like, what's it going to do with it? You know what I mean? In terms of what Sheldon's doing as well. And you know what, right? That kid didn't actually give him the answer of solving this equation that was on his board, but he did say that he pointed something out that was incorrect. Do you know what I mean? But he didn't have the chance to solve it. Where also, we've had that woman who come into their apartment and she's done it as well. You know, he had these physics calculations down on the side, and she said that she changed a few of the equations to obviously get the correct answer. So Sheldon always goes on that he's smarter than everybody else and he's going to get this Nobel Prize and whatnot. But then again, he sometimes does get outsmarted by a 15-year-old. You know what I mean? As well as other people. He's not as clever as he thinks he is, even though he is way superior than most people. You know, it's interesting to see his reactions once obviously people call him out in certain situations. But that's currently going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please smash the like. Really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.